Thank you for choosing this Voice Enterprise production. Voice Enterprise is home to Wells County, Adams County, Allen County, Delaware County, DeKalb County, and BlackfordCountyVoice.com. We know you have a choice and we appreciate you choosing us. Voice Enterprises encourages you to support your local high school sporting programs by going to as many games as possible, and we offer this broadcast as a service to our listeners. These broadcasts would not be possible without the support of the sponsors you hear throughout the games. So be sure to tell them thanks any chance you get and use their services when possible. Thank you for listening. Now, enjoy the broadcast.
From the campus of Yorktown High School in Yorktown, Indiana, welcome to the 2014 IHSAA Class 3A Sectional 28 Championship here on DelawareCountyVoice.com, where tonight the rivalry is renewed with more implications than ever on the line. It's the Delta Eagles and the Yorktown Tigers. Good Friday evening, ladies and gentlemen, on a cold but crisp and smooth night here in Yorktown, Indiana. Thanks for joining us here on DCV alongside our cameraman Wes Lorenz, our color commentator Tony Sandleben. I'm Robert Connett. As Tony, a big matchup that everyone has been waiting for all week long. It's Delta and Yorktown, a sectional championship on the line tonight.
Yeah, pretty much as soon as Yorktown beat West Lafayette in the opening round of sectionals, everyone has looked forward to this sectional championship. A lot of people thought, okay, there's a huge chance that Yorktown and Delta can meet up in the sectional championship and have that rivalry game be that much bigger. That's exactly what's happened, and that's where we are right now. Something to talk about, though, as far as experience is concerned. Just talking about last year, Yorktown was in this game just a year ago where they actually lost to that previously mentioned West Lafayette. Delta, meanwhile, lost in the opener a year ago. They have improved now, are here in the sectional championship. Both teams looking to end things a little bit differently than how the season went a year ago.
Delta coming in at 7-4 on the year. Yorktown at 10-1. For the Tigers, it's the first time in school history that they have had back-to-back 10-win seasons in the football program. And you take a look at how these two teams got here tonight in the opening round. Like we mentioned, Yorktown at West Lafayette defeating the number 11 Red Devils 48-35. And then last week in a very rainy, messy game against Western in the sectional semifinals, the Tigers came out with the win 44-8. For the Delta Eagles, they opened up this sectional a couple weeks ago against Northwestern, smoking them 52-7. And then last week they had no problem with Mississinewa 42-0. So, Tony, both of these teams coming off of blowout wins in their sectional semifinal round. Here tonight, it might be a little different. You take a look at the offenses for these two teams. Yorktown coming in with Riley Neal, their senior quarterback, and you take a look at his stats. He is leading all quarterbacks in the state of Indiana with 3,456 total yards, 2,381 of them coming from the passing game, and he has over 1,000 rushing yards in his senior year as well. Obviously, Delta's defense going to be wondering what will Riley Neal do here tonight.
Yeah, and Yorktown really has quite a story as far as Riley Neal is concerned. You know, coming into this season, he had already committed to play at Ball State this coming fall, which, you know, good for us. We're a couple of Ball State students. We've mentioned that all throughout the season, but really a lot of people were wondering, as good as that offense was a year ago with Chandler Carroll and all that, those great numbers that they put up, how are they going to be able to replace him, and how are they going to continue to keep the ball rolling and get things going in their direction offensively? They did it simply by putting the ball in Riley Neal's hands. He's handled it, as you mentioned, very well through the air and on the ground. He is an ultimate dual-threat quarterback that no one really knew he had the capability of, because everyone was talking about, you know, he's pretty good throwing the ball, but no one expected this kind of production on the ground this year that he has had. So he is absolutely a weapon to have for Delta to look out for, but also someone to keep in mind. Jacob Stevenson, who, you know, has been part of that running back by committee system that Yorktown has had all season, went off last week against Western. I don't know what the final stats were, but he had over 100 yards. His first 3 carries were, I want to say, something like 30 yards, 40 yards, and then a touchdown. It was absolutely insane, and he continued to dominate all throughout that game. So he could be an X factor in this game, something Delta's going to have to look out for.
So you got the running game for Yorktown, but you also have the passing game for the Yorktown Tigers. Riley Miller, their top receiver. He is first in 3A, third in the entire state with 1,056 receiving yards already earlier in the season. He broke the Yorktown career record for most receiving yards in a 4-year span for Yorktown football. Yorktown's offense only put up 20 points, though, against these Delta Eagles in the regular season, looking to have a better performance here in the sectional championship. For the Delta offense, they are known for their running game here in 2014, and it's from the running back Joe Spiegel, as he is 6th in the state with 30 rushing touchdowns, 1,885 rushing yards, looking to have a heyday as he has been, averaging 171 rushing yards per game for the Delta Eagles. One thing is, though, Tony, Yorktown's defense was able to stop Joe Spiegel in the regular season matchup.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Rob. He only put up 83 yards against this team in the regular season. But one thing to talk about with Spiegel, yes, he's looking to avenge that and really get back into his rhythm. But something else, he's only 32 yards away from the career rushing record of Delta High School. So you know they're going to give the ball to him early and often, as he has been by far their most productive player offensively.
You got Cade Jones, the quarterback, completing 50% of his passes, just 1,091 total yards, just about 100 passing yards per game, 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Last week against Mississinawa, Tony, 2 passes. That's it from Cade Jones. And a reminder, they put up 42 points with Mississinawa.
Yeah, so that should tell you just how great of a player Joe Spiegel is, because they leaned on him heavily. But at the same time, Rob, we went down to the field and watched a little bit of the pregame warm-up from Delta. We also had a chance to talk to Coach Wilhelm with Yorktown. But watching the pregame of Delta, the whole time we were down there, I only saw Cade Jones throw 1 pass, and it wasn't even to his top target in Tate Stone. So kind of maybe a precursor, a little foreshadowing to see what we're going to be looking for, what we're going to be watching from this Delta offense.
Joe Spiegel, definitely the go-to running back for Delta, but you can't forget about Zach Mills and Mason Bechtold. 6 touchdowns and 3 touchdowns, respectively, for those guys. So not as much of a running back by committee that Yorktown has, as Joe Spiegel's definitely the go-to guy, but you never know if Delta might mix in Zach Mills and Mason Bechtold, maybe throw a couple passes to those running backs as well. Going to be a fun night here between these two rivals, Yorktown and Delta, for a sectional 28 championship. It's the Eagles and the Tigers, the national anthem, and the first kickoff coming up next. It's the sectional 28 championship here on DelawareCountyVoice.com.
Mobile King is your AT&T authorized dealer with locations in Bluffton, Decatur, Huntington, New Haven, and Fort Wayne. And right now, you can get a smartphone for $0 down with AT&T Next, a new way to get a new device every year with no down payment, no activation fee, no upgrade fee, no finance fee. AT&T Next. Visit your local Mobile King for complete details or visit online at mymobileking.com. Requires a 12-month 0% APR installment agreement and qualifying credit. Wireless service plan required.
There's still a place. There's still a place where performance is enhanced by extra effort, not by performance-enhancing drugs. There's still a place where contracts are between coaches and players, and the terms are non-negotiable. There's still a place where an edge is something you gain by working harder than your opponent. There's still a place where sport is pure. That place is the high school in your community. At the Indiana High School Athletic Association, we believe that while competition can be fierce, it doesn't change the fact that it's only a game. The goal may be to win, but the point is to have fun. And if you want to be reminded of just how great sports can be when they're played the right way, then the place to be is at a high school sporting event in your community. High school sports, pure spirit, pure sport, pure Indiana. This message made possible by the IHSAA and the high schools in this community.
I feel so close to you right now.
pregame show on DCV, brought to you by Greek's Pizzeria in the Ball State Village, located at 1600 West University. Taste the difference of their fresh dough made daily. And don't forget about the breadsticks. See the full menu online at GreeksPizzeria.com as the Yorktown Tigers come onto the field. Their home crowd right below us as we're here in the press box at Tigers Stadium, and a full house across the field as you saw the Delta fans packing in the bleachers. As you take a look, Tony, between these two rivals, you look at the football, volleyball, basketball, baseball, softball, all year long, no matter what sport it is, Delta and Yorktown mean so much here in Delaware County.
Oh, the crosstown rivalry always has just a different feel to it. I mean, you got to throw out all the records and everything. It doesn't matter. You just have two teams that want to beat each other. There's no words a coach can say to get your team motivated. It's your rival team. It's the squad you absolutely need to beat to get that confidence for your team. And, you know, everyone that's been in high school more than likely has been a part of a rivalry like this. It's absolutely special, and it's always exciting no matter what the result is of the game. Always a fantastic atmosphere.
As we get ready for tonight's national anthem. There we have tonight's national anthem here at Tiger Stadium, the Yorktown Marching Band. As Tony, again, we talk about this rivalry between Yorktown and Delta, and we talk about the postseason success for these two teams. It's a little bit different when you look at Delta and you look at Yorktown. For the Delta Eagles, all in all, in football program history, 7 sectional championships. Their last one coming in 2009. They've won 5 sectional championships since 2000. The thing is, they all came in Class 4A. Delta has not won a sectional championship in football in 3A. For the Yorktown Tigers, they have 3 sectional championships altogether, their last one coming in 3A back in 2008. So we know for the Yorktown fans, they came oh so close last year to getting that first sectional championship since 2008, losing to West Lafayette. For Delta, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster ride since 2008. You look at their records, they from 12-1, 10-2, and then they went 5-6, 6-4. But Delta definitely the powerhouse when it comes to football between these two teams.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at the overall history of these two programs, Delta really has the more significant wins. But as of late, it's kind of been Yorktown with that bigger success, especially this year and last year. You know, you kind of look at this year, obviously, 10-1. We mentioned this is the first time in school history they've got back-to-back 10-win seasons. So Yorktown 10-1 this year, 10-2 a year ago. Between that and then compare that to Delta, 2014 this year, 7-4, and a year ago 6-4. So, you know, lately it seems like Yorktown's kind of had the upper hand, but overall it's really been Delta that's had the success between these two teams, especially when it comes to the postseason.
So either way, it'll be big and important for no matter which school wins here tonight to get that sectional championship and advance to regional next Friday night. You take a look at the bracket. The winner of this sectional will take on the winner between Garrett and Fort Wayne Bishop Luers. We'll try to give you some updates as we get them throughout the night. Kickoff from Delta going to be received by Yorktown. We're underway from the 10-yard line.
Oh, my goodness.
And Riley Miller with the fake. The fake handoff. He's on the near side, and he is gone. Riley Miller going to take it 90 yards. The opening kickoff for the touchdown.
Riley Miller does it again. His second kick return touchdown of the season, and he did it in the exact same way he did it the last time. A fake, completely sold the kickoff team of Delta. There was one player that realized Riley Miller still had the ball. He was blocked effectively, and Miller just took off, had a gaping hole, and nothing but green grass in front of him. Exactly what you wanted to start this game if you're Yorktown.
He faked the handoff to Jawan Tate, kept it himself on the near sideline. 90-yard kickoff return, longest of his career, and just like that, Yorktown is on the board 16 seconds into the game.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Well, you talk about twists and turns in these rivalry games. There's one for you. Coach Wilhelm pulling out the tricks early, having a little fake handoff, selling everybody. That worked beautifully.
It'll be Clay Dungan for the PAT. The hold, the kick is up, and it is good. Riley Miller, his second kickoff touchdown of the season, goes 90 yards, and Yorktown on the board, 7-0 here in the sectional championship. We'll be back after this here on DelawareCountyVoice.com.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Indiana are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Riley Miller, a 90-yard kickoff return to start the ball game. Yorktown leading 7-0, 16 seconds into the sectional championship. Reminder that this broadcast is powered and brought to you by AT&T Mobile King, where you can get a smartphone for 0% down. As Yorktown will kick it off, it'll be fielded by Delta at the 26-yard line. So here come the Eagles. Cade Jones, Joe Spiegel, and the rest of the company onto the field for the first time tonight, already down 7-0.
Well, and again, we talked about this in pregame. Look for Delta to look to Joe Spiegel early and often. One, they want to get him that record for sure, but two, he's been your biggest offensive threat all throughout the season. He only had 83 yards against this team in the regular season matchup, so you know he is rearing to go. He has been itching at this matchup to come back. It's finally here. You know he's amped up for this.
Jones under center, man in motion, left to right. That's Beck Dalton. They'll hand it off, or that's Mills rather. They hand it off to Mills up the middle and took it to about the 30-yard line.
And one thing to talk about with Yorktown, two kind of polar opposite performances from their defense as far as yardage is concerned in the last two games. You had Western, where they were just it was a steel curtain reincarnated almost. Western could do nothing offensively after that first drive. But then you go back to the West Lafayette game, a much better program similar to Delta. Really not the greatest run defense that we saw from the Yorktown Tigers. It was those turnovers that really made the difference in the game. So we'll see. Spiegel could have some unexpected success here tonight.
2nd and 8 for the Delta Eagles. Jones looking to pass. Fake pumps, rolls out to his right, still looking, being chased, throws it away on the near sideline, and it's incomplete. The intended receiver, Tate Stone.
And good coverage there by Ryan Morrow, the corner for Yorktown. It looked like it was just singled up there. There's a mismatch. I mean, all respect to Ryan Morrow. He's a very talented corner, but Tate Stone is 6'3", so that is a definite size advantage for the Delta Eagles there. If they're going to keep Morrow in single coverage, who's only 5'9", you might see a couple more throws to Tate Stone throughout this game.
3rd and 8 for Delta at the 30-yard line. Play clock under 10 as they break out of the huddle. Cade Jones under center. Two receivers to the right. Two guys in the backfield as Jones will throw it out to the right side, and slipping up at the 28-yard line was Colin Hart, the 6-foot junior, and that will bring up 4th down.
And a quick 3-and-out for Delta. Not what you wanted in response to that huge opening kickoff. You know Hart's just going to be kicking himself. Feet got away from him on that one, and he had a little bit of room to run. He may have picked up that 1st down.
And so their punter, Darren Stoltz, standing on the 15-yard line, will punt it away. Back to field it is Miller, and he'll watch it bounce out of bounds near the 40-yard line. So Delta goes 3-and-out, and now we will see Riley Neal and the Yorktown offense come out onto the field for the first time tonight. Again, Riley Neal leading the entire state of Indiana with 3,456 total yards, a little more than 1,000 of them coming on the ground.
And he has really taken off in his running production as of late. We talked with Coach Wilhelm, and something he talked about was just kind of letting the defense dictate, Delta's defense dictate what they do offensively. You could see some power running depending on the look you get, or Riley Neal could throw the ball 30 times. We'll see.
As they'll send Moore to the far right. Miller on the near side, Neal on the shotgun. A hard count as Miller comes to the slot now. Neal in the shotgun, takes the snap, gets away from one defender, lobs it up for Miller, catches it at midfield, and taken out of bounds near the 44-yard line. The tackle from Riley Peace, the junior. And so Riley Miller coming in with over 1,000 receiving yards on the season. Yorktown's all-time career receiver picks up a 1st down.
And right off the bat, we see the danger that is Riley Neal. He effortlessly gets away from a defender in the backfield and then just lobs one over to Riley Miller, who makes a pretty athletic catch, picks up the 1st down.
Neal in the shotgun once again. Stevenson moving out to the right slot position. Neal takes the snap, looks to his left, throws it as he is hit, and it will be incomplete. Great pressure.
Delta wants a flag on that one. Looking for intentional grounding. It looks like they're going to say that Dungan was in the area. He just wasn't looking.
Forcing Neal to throw it away was Zach Mills, the defensive back. And that will bring up 2nd down after the incompletion. Again, Riley Neal in the regular season matchup against the Eagles, 17 of 25 for 209 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. As Dungan moves from left to right, Neal in the shotgun with Stevenson in the backfield. Neal looking to pass, throws it near side, caught by Miller at the 35, and tackled at the 31 by a couple of Eagles, including 21, Trey Bland.
And that was another thing that really stuck out from the last time these two teams played. Neither offense really did anything impressive. Yorktown was shut out in the second half. We only saw 6 points put up in the final 2 quarters, and they were by Delta. So wondering maybe we'll see a little bit more production on both sides of the ball from these teams.
1st down for the Yorktown Tigers at the 31-yard line. Neal in the shotgun. Stevens in the backfield with him. Neal takes the snap, looking to throw. Left side, lobs it up. Miller to the end zone. Has it! Touchdown, Yorktown! Riley Miller with the reception. 31-yard touchdown, and the Tigers lead by 13.
And right off the bat, very early in this game, we see Yorktown has improved from the last time these two teams played. That was something else Coach Wilhelm told us before the game down on the field. He talked about Riley Neal missed 3 wide-open receivers deep, so that was something that he said cannot happen in this game. We see right here early, Riley Miller gets open deep. Neal hits him beautifully for the score.
Dungan with the PAT. It's up and good, and Yorktown leading 14-0 with 9:29 left in the 1st quarter. Yorktown in front here in the Sectional 28 Championship on DCV.
They are role models and educators. Their work requires a great deal of time and energy for very little pay. Who are these unsung heroes?
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
The simple truth about education-based athletics in Indiana is this. Without a committed team of coaches and administrators, it just wouldn't be possible. School sports, they bring out the best in all of us. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
back to Tiger Stadium. Robert Connett, Tony Sandleben, and Wes Lorenz on top of the press box running our camera tonight for the Sectional 28 Championship. Thanks for joining us this Friday evening. Temperatures right around 40 degrees here in the first quarter as Brevin Smith will squib kick it. It'll be picked up at the 35 and taking it to the 40 for the Delta Eagles is Mason Bechtel, and Delta's offense will come back out after they went 3 and out on their first drive.
And Delta is in danger of putting themselves in an even deeper hole. They need to get something going here on this drive. It's imperative that they get some points on the board and not just roll over and let Yorktown run up the score on them. They need to give their defense a little bit of a rest, get some time in possession on this drive, and get into the end zone.
Cade Jones completed 1 pass on that first drive and a couple of run plays as well. He will hand it off to Joe Spiegel, running to the left side across the 45 and tackled right around the 47. So for the first time tonight, we see the leading rusher for Delta, Joe Spiegel, get the ball and pick up of about 7.
And right there we see how dangerous he is. He was able to bounce the ball to the outside, get around the edge, and turn what looked like was going to be about a 2 or 3 yard gain into a 6 yard gain, actually 7 yard gain. So good start here on this drive for Delta.
Second and a long 3 for the Eagles at the 47-yard line. Jones under center. Takes the snap, handed off up the middle. This time it is Bechtel across midfield. Gets away from a defender. 30, 20, 15, and pushed out of bounds near the 10. It's Mason Bechtel getting the Eagles inside the red zone.
Great run there that time by Mason Bechtel, and a good fake as well following the handoff by Cade Jones. He acted like he was going to hand it off to Spiegel, even though he'd already given it to Bechtel, and Bechtel broke through the line, broke through a couple of gang tackles, and then took off into the secondary, but good effort by Yorktown as well to run him down and prevent the score. But again, imperative Delta gets some points on the board when you have this opportunity.
They mark the ball at the 14-yard line. That's where they said Bechtel stepped out of bounds. So it's 1st and 10. Jones under center, hands it off to Spiegel left side. Gets away from Myron Howard, still rolling out to the left side, and he's going to be pummeled by a gang of Tigers. A pickup of maybe 2 on the play.
Good job rallying that time by the Yorktown defense. Spiegel desperately looking for a hole. It just wasn't there, and finally the rest of the Yorktown defense got in there to clean it up. Good effort by Myron Howard as well. Got beat to the outside, but was able to stay with the play with Spiegel. Didn't allow him to cut back. And then, as I mentioned, the rest of the defense took care of the job.
It's 2nd down and 8 for Delta as we hit the 8-minute mark remaining here in the first quarter. Yorktown already up 14-0. Jones under center once more. Man in motion, that's Mills on the left side. They're going to hand it off to Mills as he goes to the right. Hopples over a couple of tacklers and gets just short of the goal line. They're going to mark him down at the 2. So it's Zach Mills getting the Eagles inside for a 1st and goal.
And great power running there by Mills. He was not going to go down without a fight. He was able to hop over a couple of defenders, then bulldoze his way almost all the way to the end zone, just came up short. And Delta now just, it looks like 2 yards away.
1st and goal for Delta. For the first time tonight, Jones under center, going to hand it off to Spiegel up the middle. Did he get across? Waiting for a sign from the refs. I think they marked him short at the 1.
That time, good penetration by the Yorktown defensive line. This Yorktown defense looking to flex their muscles here on the goal line, trying to make a goal line stand and forcing Delta to kick a field goal.
So you're looking at 2nd and goal now for Delta at the 1-yard line. 7 minutes remaining here in the opening quarter. Eagles trying to get on the board here in the Sectional 28 Championship. As Bechtel heads to the sidelines, coming in is Tate Stone. He'll line up at wide receiver on the far side.
And Jacob Stevenson now covering him. You might see a fade in his direction if Delta decides to throw it.
Instead, they'll give it to Spiegel, and he is stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Good job by this Yorktown defense here.
Jacob Preston with the tackle.
Goal line situation. A lot of times you'll see defenses just say, you know what, they won this drive and kind of let loose and let the team get into the end zone. Not Yorktown, not on this drive. they are trying to make a statement here that they will not be run over.
So it's a loss of 1. You're looking at 3rd and goal from the 2 for the Delta Eagles. Yorktown D trying to make a big stop here. Cade Jones under center. Going to pitch it out to Spiegel. Trying to dive for the end zone. He is! No, the referees marked him short. The Eagles tried to say he was in, but the near sideline judge ruled him short at the half-yard line.
And we may see Delta go for it here. Again, they are a power running team, certainly capable of picking this yardage up.
You get a look on your video screen at how short he came from the goal line. That's about the length of a football field. Football, I should say.
That's a short football field. But again, here we go. Delta gonna go for it. Big opportunity here for the Yorktown defense.
4th and goal at the half-yard line. Jones gonna give it to Spiegel, right side, and he is gonna be stopped at the 3. The Yorktown defense stops him, and it's a turnover on down.
Huge play by the Yorktown defense, not allowing Delta to get any points on that drive. And again, I mentioned earlier, good hustle on the part of Yorktown, stopping, I believe it was Bechtold, from getting into the end zone on that long run. That's what happens. You give yourself an opportunity to prevent the team from getting points. That's exactly what Yorktown did. A long drive getting all the way to the goal line. Delta comes away with nothing. Huge momentum shift for Yorktown.
And so, Riley Neal and the Yorktown offense back onto the field. Neal about 5 yards deep into his end zone, and he is going to run it himself. A flag comes in. It will be our first penalty of the game, as we have 5:05 remaining in the first quarter, and we'll have to wait and see what the penalty is on. And it's going to be holding against the Tigers. So that will be half the distance to the goal line. So you're looking at the ball sitting on the about the half-yard line.
Basically, it's going to move it back about an inch. Or actually, I guess moved it from the 2 to the 1. That's what we hear from the PA. So not a huge penalty. But still, Yorktown now making that big stop, kind of in a dangerous area themselves, in the shadow of their own goalpost. They're going to have to get out of the end zone here somehow, and it looks like the way they're going to do it, at least judging by that first play, is on the power of Riley Neal.
Neal will take it himself. Left side, has some blockers, lost the ball, and I think Delta recovered it. The Eagles have it at the 11. Neal fumbles, and the Eagles take over.
That time Riley Neal was just blindsided, didn't realize there was a defender coming from behind him, was running a little loose with the football, and Delta able to strip it out and somehow recover it before it went out of bounds. We mentioned huge play by Yorktown now right off the bat. Huge play by Delta's defense, and now they give themselves another opportunity to score, and this Yorktown defense going to have to make another stand.
First fumble of the season for Riley Neal. All in all, it's just the 5th fumble by any Yorktown offensive player here in 2014. So Delta back on. Cade Jones under center at the 11. They'll hand it off up the middle for Bechtold, bowling his way, and he is in for the touchdown. Delta on the board.
And that time Bechtold would not be denied. He knew he had to take advantage of the handoff he got, barreling through Yorktown defenders, and then finally just lowering his head and plowing his way over the goal line. You could tell he was running to make a statement on that play. And now Delta with the momentum and points on the board.
We'll await the PAT from Delta. It'll be Logan Pyron. He's 24 of 26 on PATs this season. A hold from Tate Stone. The kick is up, and it was blocked. So just the 3rd PAT missed by Logan Pyron this season. And that will make it 14-6 with 4:36 left here in the opening quarter. It's Yorktown and Delta, the Sectional 28 championship. Will be back after this on DCB.
You don't have to sit at your desktop to listen to games on the Voice Sports Network. Take the game wherever you go.
There are multiple ways to tune in, on your laptop, your tablet, or even on your smartphone. Tune into games on the Voice Sports Network at work, in your car, or even at the game. Be sure to tell your friends and family, and thanks for choosing the Voice Sports Network. Interact with Delaware County Voice through social media. Like us on Facebook, simply search Delaware County Voice. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Delaware Co-Voice. We'll let you know of any breaking news from the schools in the county, when our next broadcasts are, and post updates during the games. DelawareCountyVoice.com on Facebook and Twitter. Welcome back to Tiger Stadium. Riley Miller taking the kickoff all the way to midfield, and will be great field position for the Yorktown Tigers as their offense will come back out onto the field, coming off of that Riley Neal fumble that resulted in 6 points for the Delta Eagles.
This Yorktown special teams really coming up strong early in this game. You have the kickoff return touchdown to open the game, a blocked PAT after that most recent Delta touchdown, and now again Riley Miller with a phenomenal return. This time no fake, just took it and ran and gets all the way to midfield.
14-6, Yorktown leading here in the opening quarter. Play clock down to 6. Neal will take the snap and hand it off to Stevenson across the 45, tripped up at the 42-yard line. We talked about Jacob Stevenson having over 100 rushing yards last week against Western, coming in now a total of 421 yards on 60 carries. And that was a good pickup of about 7 on the play for Stevenson. Second and 3, Neal takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself, and he's going to be taken down at the 45.
Delta did their film study. That is a play that Yorktown loves to run. We've seen it all season long, just kind of a power run right up the middle from the quarterback, and that time Delta completely ready for it and brings down Riley Neal for a loss.
David Smeckens, Riley Peace, and a few other Eagles on the sack. So now you're looking at a 3rd and 6 for Yorktown at the 45-yard line. Neal in the shotgun. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Neal takes the snap, rolls out to his right. Looking to throw downfield for Clay Dungan, and it's incomplete on the far sideline, and that will bring up 4th down.
And Coach Wilhelm's not going to like that. We mentioned the deep balls. Clay Dungan was open there. It was a difficult pass to make on the run, but again, when you got a guy that's as talented as Riley Neal, you'd expect him to make a throw like that. It's going to bring up 4th down, and it looks like Yorktown's going to punt.
Clay Dungan, the punter, 19 punts, 684 punt yards on the season.
And the way the Yorktown special teams has gone, I would not be surprised if Coach Wilhelm tries a fake here.
Dungan gets the snap, and he's going to keep it. He's going to roll out to the right side, trying to pick up the 1st down, and he was nowhere close. The Eagles stop him at the 47. It's a loss of 2 and a turnover on downs.
And there you go. Coach Wilhelm really bringing the tricks out of the bag here tonight in this sectional championship. At that time, Delta was looking for it, and good execution there defensively from the Eagles, stopping Clay Dungan well short. Actually brought him down for a loss. And Delta's going to take over. Now down just 1 score. They're hanging around, really making this interesting.
They'll take over at the 46-yard line, trailing 14-6. Under 3 minutes to play here in the opening quarter, and breaking free, Mason Bechtold to the 30, to the 20, and he's tripped up. Another big run for Mason Bechtold, getting the Eagles inside the red zone.
You know, we have spent the entire pregame show, I feel like, whenever time we talked about Delta, we were talking about Joe Spiegel. Early and often in this game, it hasn't really been Spiegel, it's been Mason Bechtold.
He had a big run of 43 yards earlier in this quarter, and a big one there A gain of about 35 on that run for Bechtold, and it's 1st and 10 at the 20 for the Delta Eagles.
We mentioned the run defense was suspect against West Lafayette for Yorktown. Kind of showing the same thing here tonight.
Jones under center, takes the snap. He's going to give it to Spiegel left side. Gets away from one tackler, sheds another one, still shaking and baking to the 15-yard line, tackled at the 13. So we talked about the running game. It's no surprise. It's just who is running the ball. Bechtold with that big run. Spiegel now takes it about 8 yards. And Delta's offense has something going here, trailing by 1 score.
And you got to give Bechtold credit. It's not like he's getting all of the handoffs. He's just taking advantage of all the ones he gets. Every time he's gotten the ball, it's been a huge gain.
2nd and 2 for the Delta Eagles. Jones will hand it off up the middle, and this time it's going to be a tackle for loss as the carry by Bechtold, and getting in there was Jake Preston and Trey Cates with the tackle for loss.
And when you're a primarily run-first team, you're going to see a number of those. If you're Delta, those big runs only come when you just keep pounding and pounding and pounding the ball. So a lot of times you'll see some short gains, some losses, and then they'll break open for a big one. Kind of strange, though, we're seeing those big runs early.
We're looking at a 3rd and 4 from about the 15-yard line. Jones under center, takes the snap and hands it up off the middle. A flag comes in, and this might be holding against the Eagles.
I believe it was. It was thrown right at the line of scrimmage just as the ball was snapped. And the Eagles are already moving back. I think it is.
Yep. So you're looking at a 3rd and long 4. I don't think he picked up the first down.
Oh,
It's
a shot block
against Delta. So that's a little bit different. And that'll move Delta backwards as Yorktown will accept the penalty. So they'll place the ball at the 25-yard line. So now you're looking at a 3rd and 15 for the Eagles.
And this is what Yorktown wanted defensively. You come into this game, again, a run-first team that is Delta. You want to force them into a lot of third and long situations, force them to throw the ball. But
then again, we've seen Mason Bechtold.
Right.
You could give the ball to him.
So considering how the run game has gone for Delta, they might still try to run the ball here. I doubt it.
And it's actually, the referees corrected themselves at the 15-yard penalty, so now you're looking at a 3rd and even longer at about the 29.
3rd and 19, according to the scoreboard.
Referee signaling to start the play clock, as they do here in the press box. So a 3rd and 19 after the penalty from the Delta offense, as they will send a receiver out to the right side and the left side. Jones under center, going to hand it to Mills up the middle. Myron Howard with the tackle at about the 21-yard line, and it will bring up 4th down.
Just about got back to the original line of scrimmage. Now comes decision time for Delta. It's going to be 4th and 10. You're in plus territory. You're right at the 22-yard line. And I think Delta,
they might go for it.
They've got their offense still on the field, but we might see. Well, we might wait and see until the end of the first quarter.
It's a pretty long field goal if you're Logan Pirate, and he's only 1 of 2 on the year.
But again, they're letting the clock tick down. I think we're going to see whether or not they go for it in the second quarter.
That will be the end of your first quarter. Here in the Sectional 28 championship from Yorktown High School, it's the Tigers in front 14-6 after 12 minutes to play. The second quarter coming up next here on DelawareCountyVoice.com.
D1 Mold and Tool is a specialized supplier that designs and builds die-cast dies, plastic injection molds, and related tooling. With over 20 years of experience and using the latest technology advanced machinery, D1 Mold and Tools is your full-service molding shop, From die rebuilds to complete design and build projects, D1 is blending yesterday's experience with today's technology. Visit them in Daleville or check them out on the web at d1moldandtool.com. D1 Mold and Tool, proudly sponsoring Yorktown High School athletics.
Rosenthal Orthodontics, located at 3901 North Wheeling, houses the area's only board-certified orthodontist, Dr. Mark Rosenthal. At Rosenthal Orthodontics, we can use cutting-edge technology with knowledge and craftsmanship to give adults and children the healthiest, best-looking smile. Call the office today at 289-2377 to make the first step toward a beautiful smile. Rosenthal Orthodontics, the choice of champions. Welcome back to Yorktown High School. Robert Connett, Tony Sandleben, and Wes Lorenz with you here on DelawareCountyVoice.com as we get ready for the second quarter. Delta trailing 14-6, looking at a 4th and 12 from the 22-yard line, and it looks like they will indeed go for it. Tate Stone lined up at receiver on the far side. Jones under center will take the snap, the handoff to Bechtel up the middle. Drags a couple of defenders with them across the 15, tackled at the 13, not enough for a first down, and Yorktown will take over.
You know, I understand that power run up the middle with Bechtold has run to phenomenal success early in this game, but I don't like that play call. It's 4th and long. You've got a mismatch with your tallest receiver, your best receiver in Tate Stone. I think you got to throw the ball there. They choose not to. The run comes up just short and gives Yorktown a big opportunity.
Neal will lob it up to the left side, getting away from one defender, but quickly tackled on the far side was Jacob Stevenson with the reception, but it was a loss of about 4.
Yeah, I think Riley Neal dumped that off a little too quickly. I'm not sure if that was supposed to be a screen, but
Delta has been bringing the pressure almost every play.
They really have
been blitzing. And Neal has had to get it away quickly on most of his passes here tonight. So now you're looking at a 2nd and 14. Neal from the shotgun looking to throw across the left side. Caught by Miller right around the first down marker. So there you go, Riley Miller with another reception, and they are going to mark him. I think he picked it up, and he did, just enough for the first down.
And by my count, Riley Miller has every single one of Riley Neal's completions.
Yep.
With 4.
One of them being a touchdown. So a fresh set of downs for Yorktown at the 25-yard line. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Neal takes the snap. Rolls out to his right. Being chased by Bechtel. Neal going to launch it out of bounds, incomplete.
Smart play there by Neal. Looked like he was looking downfield, maybe to try to run the ball as his receivers were all covered and he was under intense pressure. Nobody there, no room to run. Just throws it away and lives to play another down.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion. As the intended receiver, I believe, was Clay Dungan. He was in the vicinity. So 2nd down from the 25. Miller on the far side, 2 receivers here on the near side. As Neal lined up. Quick throw out to Dungan, and he has it caught at the 31-yard line. Got smacked in the face mask by David Smeckens after he was down on his rear end to end the play. It's a pickup of about 7.
A couple of Yorktown players looking for a flag there for a late hit. Not getting one.
So you're looking at 3rd and a long 3 or a short 4 from the 31-yard line. Myron Howard in the backfield for Yorktown. Neal talking to him as the play clock winds down to 3-2. Neal takes the snap. Rolls out to his right, shakes one defender, has the first down, and sidesteps out of bounds right around the 37-yard line.
Another impressive play there from Riley Neal. Interesting play design. That almost looked like a broken play. He somehow gets away from a tackler, realizes he's picked up the first down, and then just tiptoes out of bounds without taking a big hit. Smart play there by the senior quarterback.
Absolutely. So a fresh set of downs once again for Yorktown. They spot the ball at the 38-yard line. Yorktown up 14-6, under 10 minutes to play here in the first half. 3 receivers to the left side now, 1 here on the near side, which is Riley Miller. Neal in the shotgun, Myron Howard in the backfield with him. Play clock at 5. Neal takes the snap, looking to his right, throw out. Miller has it at the 45, gets away from a defender. 45-40, another defender going across midfield, has a big block from Carson Moore. 10-5, touchdown Riley Miller. What a play by the senior wide receiver.
Riley Miller is having a game of his life. Opening kickoff return for a touchdown. Huge touchdown reception on the first offensive series of the game. And now his second, takes a simple hitch route, breaks a tackle, and then takes off. Breaks another, gets a block, and just turns on the Jets. Delta seems to have no answer for Riley Miller here in this game.
Clay Duggan to attempt the extra point. The kick is up. It is good. Here in the second quarter, Yorktown already with more points than what they scored against Delta in the regular season as they lead the Eagles 21-6 with 9:41 left until halftime. Riley Miller with his second touchdown of the night. Reception-wise, he also has a kickoff return. He has all 3 scores for the Yorktown Tigers here in the ball game.
And they've all been absolutely huge plays. Riley Miller absolutely has stepped up tonight and just unbelievable. I mean, he's running sprints out there. He's been absolutely phenomenal. I hate to imagine what his total yardage is, including that kickoff return. He even had a big kickoff return his second time out, got the ball all the way back to midfield. Boy, Delta really needs to find an answer for the senior wide receiver.
It's a 62-yard touchdown for Riley Miller, his second receiving touchdown, his 3rd overall here tonight. 21-6, Tigers lead with 9:41 left here in the second quarter. Yorktown to kick off now as Riley Miller doing it all here in the first half for YHS. Brevin Smith with the kick. A good deep kick will be retrieved at the 12-yard line. And getting to about the 28-yard line. I believe that was Trey Bland. Yep, 21 with the kickoff return. Hey, a reminder that the University of St. Francis, proud sponsor on all websites of the Voice Sports Network, located in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and online at sf.edu. See for yourself what University of St. Francis has to offer for you.
And as Delta comes back on offense, finding themselves back in a 2-score hole, again, pressure's on them. They got to get something going. Last time they were in this position, they had a couple long runs, and unfortunately were stopped at the goal line, but then got the ball back and scored, and that, well, there's the flag.
Someone jumped early. It's a false start going to be called against Delta.
Looked like the left tackle got a little antsy there, both the left tackle and left guard. Got a little bit of a head start on that quick count, and referee saw it, threw the flag.
So another penalty against the Delta Eagles offense. They had a chop block on their last drive that pushed them back 15 yards. This one will move them back 5. So you take a look at the Delta Eagles coming out, and they will start this drive now officially from the 14-yard line, or check that the 24-yard line. Jones under center, takes the snap, will hand it off to the running back in the backfield, and Spiegel went nowhere. Big tackle in the backfield, and this time for the Yorktown Tigers, it was 55 for Yorktown, which is not on the roster. I'm trying to figure out who that would be. Or maybe it wasn't even 55. 59. Blake Midlam with the tackle. That makes a little more sense. Tackle for loss of 5. Jones under center once more. Fakes the handoff, being tripped up in the backfield. And it's Trey Cates with the sack all the way back at the 10.
Just a pure hustle play that time by Trey Cates. Kay Jones is a shifty quarterback, and he was sprinting away from Trey Cates, but Cates turned on his hustle plays and just got there in time, got enough of a hold of Kay Jones' jersey and dragged him down. That's going to bring up 3rd and a mile.
3rd sack for Trey Cates, as he just busted through and took down Cade Jones all the way back at the 10. It's 3rd in the entire state of Indiana. Jones under center. Spiegel in the backfield. Jones looking to throw on 3rd and long, being chased from behind, and he's going to be sacked again. This time it's Myron Howard with the sack, his 10th of the year, and it will be 4th and forever.
The defensive specialist for Yorktown, Myron Howard, who absolutely has been a star this season on the defensive side for the Tigers. This time he's the one that busts through and chased down Cade Jones. And talk about a huge shift in momentum. Yorktown's defense this time coming up big.
Delta will have to punt from their own end zone on 4th and 35. It'll bounce at the 31. Miller will let it go, and Delta will down it near the 40. It's about a 45-yard punt for Darren Stoltz, and Yorktown will come back onto the field as they already lead 21-6 with 7:13 remaining here in the first half. We mentioned in the pregame show that the winner of this sectional will take on the winner of Fort Wayne, Bishop Luers, and Garrett. Update at the end of the first quarter up in Fort Wayne. It's Luers leading 14-0.
Yeah, Garrett is definitely going to have their hands full, as Luers is one heck of a football program, storied program, and also just a very good team this year. And if Luers does come away with the win, and whatever team comes away with the victory here, they're going to have their hands full next week.
Fumble in the backfield on the first play for Yorktown. I think the Tigers got it back as Riley Neal slipped up. He was able to get back onto it.
And I think Riley Neal just simply dropped the snap rather.
It'll be a loss of about 4 or 5.
And those are
mark it at the 43.
Those are dangerous too, because basically if you're Riley Neal, all you can do really is just dive on the ball because you know the Delta defenders are coming, and that's a good way to really awkwardly bend your body, and that's a lot of times where some severe injuries come from.
Looking at 2nd and 14. Neal takes the snap, looking to throw from midfield, scrambles away, still looking, lobs it up, wide open is Miller on the far sideline. Check, that's 80 Clay Dungan with the reception. Takes it inside the 20. It'll be a first down inside the red zone. First reception by anyone named other than Riley Miller.
And good effort there by Clay Dungan. All he was doing was running a simple flat route, and noticed Riley Neal came under pressure. Also noticed he was completely uncovered, was Clay Dungan, so he just took off down the field, was waving his arms frantically for Riley Neal to see him, and as Neal got away from the pressure, simply tossed the ball to him. Great, smart play by the baseball player, Clay Dungan.
1st and 10 inside the 20. Neal will hand it off. Peyton Stites is the running back, and he might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
And actually, by my count, that was Clay Dungan's second reception.
So you got 2 for Dungan, 5 for Miller, 2 of those being touchdowns.
And those touchdowns also crazy numbers. First one was 31 yards, second one was 62, and then a 90-yard return for Riley Miller. He's been phenomenal tonight.
Loss of 1 from Peyton Stites' run here on this play. Neal scrambles, throws it intended for
Preston, but it was thrown low and incomplete. Now you're looking at a 3rd and long for the Tigers.
It's going to be a 3rd and about 11 for Yorktown. Those hitch routes have really worked well for Yorktown, as the receivers, in particular Riley Miller, has really sold that he's going deep and then quickly just stops and turns around, and the Delta defenders are nowhere near there to make the play on the ball. So maybe we'll see that here to pick up this key this first down on this 3rd and long situation.
2 receivers to the right.
Miller's in single coverage.
2 to the left. Neal in the shotgun with Peyton Stites in the backfield. 3rd and 11. Neal takes the snap, rolls out to his right. Flag thrown. Neal going to throw it incomplete.
I think that's going to be holding on Yorktown.
Yep, this might be pushed backwards.
Well, with that being 3rd down, I think Delta might just decline this.
And if they do, you're looking at a 4th and 11 from the 19.
You may actually see Delta, well, if Delta accepts this, it wouldn't be shocking, but it wouldn't be the way I'd go, because this Yorktown offense is very prone to making big plays, and they are going to accept a penalty.
So it'll be 3rd and even longer now for Yorktown. It'll push them all the way back to the 33-yard line.
So Coach Segunda's going to take a chance here and try to get Yorktown off the field without getting any points, because this will almost certainly, if Yorktown gains no more yardage from here, almost certainly puts them out of field goal range.
Right.
So, but again, 4th down was the result of the last play, so, interesting call.
3rd and 22. Neal looking to throw. Right side. Carson Moore has it! And, they say he dropped it in the end zone. Moore dropped it at the last second. It's incomplete, and it'll be 4th down for Yorktown.
That would have been a phenomenal reception for Carson Moore if he made it in between 2 defenders. A great throw there by Riley Neal. Very difficult catch to make for Carson Moore. Unfortunate he was unable to hold on as he got his hands on it. Would have been a phenomenal score, and now
you can see him in the bottom corner of your screen. Carson Moore lined back up, but walked back, shaking his head, upset with himself. So now you're looking at 4th and 22. Neal, that's pressure being brought. Neal going to launch it, and it is through the hands of the defender, Brandon Buckner. Either way, Delta will take over. As it's another turnover on downs.
Brandon Buckner is going to be mad at himself for not getting that interception, but really, playing situational football, it's kind of good for Delta that he didn't, because they'll get better yardage, better starting field position, rather, as they just take the turnover on downs. They'll get the ball at the original line of scrimmage rather than what looked like was going to be either the 20 on a touchback or maybe about inside the 10. It's been an interesting game so far, to say the least, from both sides of the ball. As you had that opening kickoff return, these are just the results for Yorktown. Opening kickoff return for a touchdown, then the long touchdown pass to Riley Miller.
Spiegel gets away from a defender across the 40 and hit out of bounds at about the 42-yard line. And it might be just enough for the first down. I think he got it.
Carson Moore there looked like he was playing a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. But just to finish my point, after that long touchdown, you had a fumble by Riley Neal, then a turnover on downs, then another touchdown, then just that turnover on downs. So it's kind of been all over the place for Yorktown. Same thing can be said for Delta. A 3-and-out punt, turnover on downs at the goal line, a touchdown, turnover on downs, and a punt.
1st and 10. The handoff to Spiegel once more. He's across the 45 to about the 46. It'll be a pickup of about 5 on the play. And it'll bring up 2nd down for Delta as we're under 5 minutes to play until halftime. (21-6), Yorktown leading here in the first half of the Sectional 28 championship. Delta looking at a 2nd and 5 from the 46-yard line. As Jones under center, two guys in the backfield, I formation, fakes the handoff, rolls out to the right. Jones is going to keep it himself across midfield and slips up at about the 46-yard line. Enough for a first down, and he'll move the chains for the Eagles.
Nice play fake that time by K. Jones, showing the empty hand, making it seem as though he did hand off the ball, but he himself still had it kind of tucked away behind his hip and fooled most, if not all, of the Yorktown defense, and he was able to roll out and pick up a nice gain and the first down on the ground.
They spotted at the 47. New set of downs for Delta as we hit the 4-minute remaining mark here in the second quarter. Eagles trailing 21-6. Jones under center. I formation, they'll hand it off to Spiegel. Across the 45 to the 40, trying to get away from tacklers and brought down by a gang of Tigers at about the 37-yard line. Just short of the first down, maybe a yard or two. That'll be 2nd and 1 for DHS.
And again, Delta continuing to pick up solid gains on the ground, coming up with a lot of short yardage situations, not what you want to see if you're Yorktown's defense. A lot of times running teams, they thrive on short yardage situations.
2nd and 1. Fake the handoff. Jones going to keep it himself. Right side has the first down and dives forward to about the 33-yard line. It's enough to move the chains once again. Delta moving down the field with 3:06 left here in the first half.
And Delta on this drive really giving the Yorktown Tigers the football version of a root canal. They have a ton of first downs on this drive. They've just been constantly pounding the ball up the middle, gaining solid yardage on the ground, really kind of tiring out this Tigers defense.
Handoff up the middle and taking it to the 30. I believe that was Bechtold with the carry. It was a gain of about 3.
And good to see Yorktown finally respond to that fullback carry up the middle, as Bechtold has had a phenomenal day so far. A number of long runs. That time it went nowhere.
It'll be 2nd and 8 at the 30. 2:20 and counting here in the second quarter. Two guys in the backfield for the Eagles. Jones takes the snap, handoff to Spiegel, and he got slipped up in the backfield. We've seen that a couple times here tonight, Tony, and we got a chance to go out onto the field during pregame warm-ups. It didn't seem slick at all. The weather conditions are actually pretty good here tonight.
You got to remember the Western game last week, which was here. The weather was nasty. I mean, it was consistently precipitating. I mean, I say that because it wasn't just rain. It was also kind of sleet and some flurries as well. And it really, the field looked disgusting after the game. And you wonder if maybe those effects are still kind of hanging around here. And keep in mind, it's very different running on grass and making cuts than just walking out in dress shoes like we were.
3rd and 9. Jones looking to throw. Going to lob it up in the middle. Wide open for the catch is Zach Mills, and he's in for the touchdown.
Busted coverage that time by Yorktown secondary. Delta's receiver, Jones, was wide open on that play, or Mills, rather, was wide open on that play. Even had time to kind of backpedal to get to the ball and make the reception, and then just took off to the end zone. Huge break for Delta as they are right back in this one, about to make it a one-score game, assuming they make this PAT.
Zach Mills with the 31-yard touchdown reception. And it's his first receiving touchdown of the year. He came in with 3 rushing touchdowns. So 4 overall this season for Mills, rather.
Delta's going to go for 2.
K. Jones rolling out to the right side, trying to get to the goal line. Is he in? No, he's stopped short. The Yorktown defense stopped him. And that will keep it a 21-2 score. So Zach Mills with his first receiving touchdown of the season gets Delta back into things, 21-12, with 1:21 left here in the second quarter. We'll be back from Tiger Stadium, the Sectional 28 Championship on DCV.
Welcome to the world of Boomer compact tractors from New Holland. We know that buying a compact tractor is an exciting time and an important decision. Our goal is to answer your questions and give you the information needed to make an informed decision.
To learn more about New Holland compact tractors, visit New Holland Tri-County Incorporated on State Road 1 South in Bluffton.
Robert Connett, Tony Sandleben, and Wes Lorenz with you here on DCV as Delta kicks off. Miller will pick it up at the 24-yard line and take it to about the 31. So the Yorktown offense comes back onto the field with 1:15 left here in the first half after a 31-yard touchdown reception by Zach Mills for the Delta Eagles.
And finally, Delta is able to contain Riley Miller a little bit, as we've seen ever since that early kickoff return touchdown to open the game. It's been a bunch of squibs and short kicks on kickoffs for Delta. And that time, Riley Miller picked it up, and it's weird to see Yorktown starting at their own 30.
Worst field position to start all night long. Neal will throw left side. It is caught on the far sideline. It's Miller once again, as he picked up the first down for Yorktown at the 40-yard line.
The worst field position off a kickoff. Keep in mind, Yorktown did start at their own goal line after stopping Delta on downs.
So a gain of about 11 for Miller on that reception. Neal will take the snap, throw out to the right side. Moore has it and immediately brought down. The tackle by Brandon Buckner. Pickup of about 5 on the play for Carson Moore, his first reception of the night. Yorktown working a no-huddle offense as we're under a minute to play here in the first half. Neal looking to throw once again, rolls out to the left side, going to launch it far sideline. Dungan had to come in. Referee saying he had it on the far sideline at the 40-yard line for the catch.
Great catch there by Clay Dungan. Somehow stayed in bounds. And Delta, that was right on the Delta sidelines. They are furious. They thought for sure that was an incomplete pass.
Clock stops to move the chains. 42.8 seconds left. It looks like Yorktown acting like they want to get another score before they head to the locker room. Neal looking to throw once more. Over to the side, it's Miller, caught at the 35, 30, and taken down at the 26. Trying to get out of bounds, but there was a flag thrown near the line of scrimmage.
And I think this one's going to come back. And just judging by the body language that we're seeing on the field, I think Anthony Todd knows he got caught holding. No, it's another chop block.
Another chop block. We saw one from Delta. This one going to be called against Yorktown. And so that will push them back 15 yards. And so that stops all the momentum that Yorktown had with that no-huddle offense trying to move quickly down the field before halftime. Clock stopped at 31.9 seconds. Yorktown leading 21-12. Neal comes out from the sidelines as the ball will be spotted at midfield. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Neal in the shotgun. 1st and 20 as Neal will roll out to the right side. Has to throw it. It is through the hands of Carson Moore at the 35-yard line, incomplete.
And that would have been a big gain there if Carson Moore was able to hold on to that one. Little high, but you said it, Rob. Went through Carson Moore's hands. Definitely one he should have come down with, and you can see he's not happy with himself.
And you knew that was a high throw from Neal if it goes through the hands of Carson Moore, because he's standing at 6'4", and it was still too high for him.
Yeah, that is a huge advantage Yorktown has. They have a wide receiving core that really could be considered a city. These guys are tall.
Neal going to throw it to the far sideline. It's caught by Miller as he gets out of bounds right around the 35-yard line. And he's going to be about
5 yards short of the first down, so you're looking at 3rd and 5 for the Tigers.
And by my count, that was Riley Miller's 7th reception, and we're only at the end of the first half.
Neal takes the snap on 3rd down, throw across the middle, and it is complete at the 24-yard line. It's Clay Dungan once again. Yorktown will have to hurry up. Actually, they stop the clock to move the chains.
And Yorktown's going to call a timeout to keep the clock stopped to kind of talk things over. You're down here, 17 seconds to go. You're in plus territory inside the 30-yard line. This would be kind of the area now where you can see maybe a couple of shots to the end zone. You can probably make one more throw over the middle if it's picking up a first down. But Yorktown, with plenty of timeouts left, really the middle of the field might be open as well, even though you're only down, like I said, 17 seconds. That's not that much time. So we'll see what Yorktown does here. Probably a couple of shots to the end zone.
We saw that on a couple of drives ago for Yorktown when they were facing a 3rd and 22. Neal just launching it to the end zone. Carson Moore with the drop. Then on 4th and 22, there's the Delta defender, Brandon Buckner, dropping the interception. So we've seen already tonight on that type of situation where you're about 25 yards away from the end zone, Riley Neal is not afraid to just launch it to the end zone and see what happens.
And we've also seen it happen successfully throughout the season from Yorktown. They are a very explosive passing offense.
So here we go. Neal rolling out to the right side, looking to throw. It is caught by Dungan at the 11, steps out of bounds at the 10. Nice catch. Moving to his left, Clay Dungan stops the clock with 12.4 seconds to play. They will spot the ball at the 11-yard line. So it's a 1st and 10 for Yorktown. Looking to score before halftime, 12 seconds remaining. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right for Neal on the shotgun. Rolls out to his left, looking to throw, still looking, going to lob it up into the end zone, and that's out of bounds near the track. Incomplete will bring up 2nd down with 6 seconds left.
Again, another smart play there by Riley Neal. Receiver was covered, so he simply threw the ball away. Was under a lot of pressure. But now you're down. You've only got 6 seconds left. Maybe time for one more play. And hopefully you still got some time left. You could probably end the half on a field goal if you don't get into the end zone here.
Ball at the 11. The thing is, Tony, let's say you go for the end zone, it's incomplete, maybe a couple seconds left. Ball at the 11, you could kick a field goal as well for Clay Dungan. We'll see what happens. You're looking at a 2nd and 10 from the 11, 6 seconds left. And someone jumps.
Oh, boy, that's not going to help you out. Oh, no.
That was a delay of game. Wow. I didn't even realize the play clock was down.
Yeah, the play clock. It seemed like Yorktown was acting like they just had called a timeout instead of it just being an incomplete pass. So the whole time Riley Neal was talking to his coach, the play clock was running down, and now Yorktown's going to take a timeout. So that's going to give Yorktown enough, an extended amount of time to really talk this play over and figure out what they want to do. Again, you got to be careful here. Plays like this, situations like this in football can really determine who has the momentum going into the locker room. If Yorktown can score here, especially if they get in the end zone, absolutely, it's going to be all Yorktown going into the locker room. But if they kick a field goal here, Delta can go in thinking, all right, we held them to 3. You know, we've really done a good job kind of keeping their offense down a little bit. As you know, I just went over the drive results before. A turnover, a couple of turnovers on downs. So Delta's defense hasn't exactly, just kind of let Yorktown roll over them. So if Delta can make a stop here and only give up 3 and go into the locker room with that, that's something they can really build on. Now, if they make a stop here and Yorktown comes away with nothing, then Delta goes in with all the momentum, and Yorktown's going to go in questioning, man, what are we doing? That's another drive where we haven't scored.
Coming out of the Yorktown timeout, 2nd down from the 11, 6 seconds left. Yorktown looking to score before halftime. Neal on the shotgun, takes the snap. Has to get it away, rolling to his left. This will be the end of the first half, and Neal will be sacked.
It is Bechtel bringing him down, and that will be the end of the second quarter.
And just like that, you see the Delta sidelines celebrating as huge stop there for the Eagles. Yorktown coming away with no points after a very nice, quick drive for the Tigers. Comes away with nothing. Delta really, even though they're down, has quite a bit to be happy about.
At the break, it's Yorktown leading Delta by a score of 21-12. Your halftime report coming up next. It's the Sectional 28 Championship here on DelawareCountyVoice.com.
If an individual student athlete or team wins a high school state championship, it's an amazing thing. It's also just the icing on the cake. That's because young people in Indiana who participate in education-based athletics are already winners. Studies show that win or lose, participation helps to impart skills they can use to enjoy greater success in other areas of their lives. School sports teach the benefits of teamwork, the value of self-motivation, and the importance of accountability. They also help to foster stronger work habits and higher levels of self-esteem. In other words, the true value of school sports can't be measured in terms of wins or losses. If an individual or team goes to state, it's an incredible accomplishment. But regardless of the outcome, today's student athletes are already destined to go far. School sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Greek's Pizzeria in the Village, serving Muncie and Ball State for 35 years. Stop in and taste the difference of dough made fresh daily and the finest ingredients. Located in the Ball State Village at 1600 West University. Our menu is online at greekspizzeria.com or call us at 765-284-4900. That's 284-4900. It's our taste. Greek's Pizzeria in the Village.
You began building your resume when you enrolled in the EPIC program at the University of St. Francis, a defining moment for your future. EPIC students are led by accomplished professors who believe in you and are there to guide you through a business program that provides work experience and executive mentorship. Don't just get a degree. Get experience and a resume that can only be described as
impressive.
The University of St. Francis. This is your moment. Believe.
Have you heard? Winning isn't everything. Championships are great, but there's more to sports than separating the world into winners and losers. The way we play matters too. The choice is simple. You can choose gamesmanship, or you can choose sportsmanship. Gamesmanship is another way of saying whatever it takes. You know the types. They taunt their opponents. Throw the occasional elbow for good measure. Whatever it takes to gain the upper hand. Sportsmanship relies less on underhanded tactics and more on things like strategy, skill, and smarts. It's less about stooping to trickery and more about rising to the occasion. Gamesmanship or sportsmanship? Both can lead to victory, but only one represents the true measure of a champion. Play like a champion. Practice sportsmanship. This message brought to you by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the high schools in your community.
The world of high school sports is filled with athletes who possess the eye of the tiger and whose focus and determination enables them to soar like eagles. The games themselves can't be played without a few zebras. Becoming an IHSAA official is a great way to be part of the action and to support Indiana's healthy tradition of high school athletics. Visit IHSAA.org and get in the game. This message brought to you by the IHSAA and the high schools in your community.
High school sports. Pure spirit, pure sport.
Pure determination. Nothing is going to stand in the way of my becoming the best student athlete I can be.
Pure spirit, pure sport.
Pure leadership. I don't just play an important role on my team. I play an important role in my community.
Pure spirit, pure sport.
Pure sportsmanship. I recognize the attitude counts, and that being a good sport is the only way to play.
There are plenty of ways student athletes in Indiana demonstrate the values of high school sports. At the Indiana High School Athletic Association, we salute each and every one of them. The IHSAA, pure spirit, pure sport.
Pure effort.
Pure dedication, pure Indiana.
This message made possible by the IHSAA and the high schools in this community.
In Fort Wayne, two sisters make a historic splash when they swim their way to a pair of individual state titles.
In Evansville, a boys and girls soccer team becomes state champions in the same year for the same school, claiming their place in Indiana history.
In Bloomington, 12 young men combine their talents, check their egos, and net a basketball state title.
High school sports have provided us with as many inspirational stories as there are towns in Indiana.
In Valparaiso, a gymnastics team scores a perfect season, winning a record 7 state championship for their school in the process.
A football team south of Indianapolis refuses to lose, comes from behind, and runs away with an improbable state title.
What will the story be in your community? High school sports. Pure spirit, pure sport, pure Indiana. This message made possible by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the high schools in this community.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Indiana. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it? The Tigers have won! In sectional 80-68, the Tigers knock off the number 3 ranked Bishop Lors. For over 5 years, the Voice Sports Network has brought you coverage of high school sports in Northeast and East Central Indiana.
Arias breaks a tackle, gets to the outside. Boom, big block by Travis Crow, touchdown. Arias Vasquez, wow.
Since the start in 2009, the Voice Sports Network has expanded to 6 different websites in Wells County, Adams County, Allen County, Delaware County, DeKalb County, and Blackford County, bringing you broadcasts of football, volleyball, boys and girls basketball, baseball, and softball for 17 different high schools.
Back by Gillis as a sophomore, and Yorktown has it. Kastner will give it a go. Boom! Marley Kastner.
Thanks to the fans and sponsors for the continued support of the Voice Sports Network.
Let's talk about the X's and O's of family entertainment. Every parent in Indiana knows the importance of being able to draw up an activity that'll get you out of the house for a couple of hours. But it needs to be affordable. It needs to be family-friendly. Above all, it needs to be fun. Now, let's talk about high school sports. Bang for your buck, school sports provide the perfect game plan for your family. You'll enjoy all of the drama and excitement competitive sports offer. You'll be supporting the future leaders of our community in a meaningful way. Best of all, you can take the entire family without breaking the bank. Heck, you won't even dent it. Now, enough chalk talk. Let's get out there and see what's playing at the high school in your community. School sports. Good for our kids, good for our community. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Last season, we asked you, DCB Nation, to help us reach 1,000 followers on Twitter.
Are you following Delaware County Voice on Twitter?
And you came through in the clutch. Now, with that goal reached, we return with a new task. DCB Nation, we ask you to help us reach 2,000 followers. Rise to your feet. Go to your laptops and smartphones. Get on your Twitters and follow at Delaware Co Voice. You have the talent. You have the skill. Now, have the desire. Follow us at Delaware Co Voice.
Halftime show on DCV, brought to you by Greek's Pizzeria in the Ball State Village, located at 1600 West University. Taste the difference of their fresh dough made daily, and don't forget about the breadsticks. See the full menu online at GreeksPizzeria.com. Here at Tigers Stadium, it's the Yorktown Tigers leading the Delta Eagles 21-12 here in the Sectional 28 Championship. A first half that saw a lot of big plays from the Yorktown Tigers, a lot of turnover on downs and turnovers as well between the two teams.
Yeah, and it's something interesting to point out, the total count, I guess, of plays for each team was almost identical. Yorktown had 29, Delta had 28. The difference, Yorktown had 244 total yards, Delta only had 172, so kind of a difference in production that we've seen from both sides, but some big numbers individually to point out from both sides. Riley Neal is having a phenomenal day through the air. I mentioned 244 total yards for the Yorktown Tigers. Riley Neal has 229 passing yards. The big stat, though, for Riley Neal, he has 5 carries for 2 yards. So give Delta credit. They've done a phenomenal job really shutting down this rushing attack for the Tigers. But the story, the hero, I guess, for Yorktown of the first half absolutely was Riley Miller. This is just his first half stats. 7 receptions, 156 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's been absolutely phenomenal. Clay Dungan also has 5 catches for 71 yards. And on the other side of things, we talk about Delta being a run-heavy offense. Kay Jones, only 2 of 3 passing for 30 yards. The crazy thing is 31 of his passing yards came on a touchdown pass on one of his completions. He had another completion for -1 yard. Something else we talked about in the pregame show was Joe Spiegel was only 32 yards away from breaking the school career rushing record. He broke it. He had 40 yards in the first half, so congratulations to him. He'll go down in the Delta record books for sure. But also, the big story on the ground, though, has been Delta's Mason Bechtel, 6 carries, 91 yards, and a touchdown. So a lot of big plays. You said it, Rob. A lot of big plays from both teams. A couple of turnover on downs, and that big stand at the end of the half by the Delta Eagles, sacking Riley Neal for a huge loss to end the half and forcing Yorktown to come away from a drive that lasted very quick and was very productive, came away with no points. So Delta definitely having some momentum on their side going into the locker room. Yorktown might have to kind of rethink things a little bit, considering a number of drives have resulted in a fumble. You had 2 turnover on downs, and then obviously the stand at the half. So this second half, Rob, if it's anything like the first, is going to be a very exciting end to this football game.
And a lot on the line, a Sectional 28 championship. Yorktown trying to win their first sectional football championship since 2008. Delta trying to win their first since 2009. We said we would give you some updates. The winner of this sectional will take on the winner of Garrett and Fort Wayne Bishop Luers in next week's regional. The update from Fort Wayne, Bishop Luers winning that game at halftime 35-0. So
Ouch.
It looks like number 3, Bishop Luers, is going to advance to next week's regional if that holds up against Garrett. And the winner of this matchup between Yorktown and Delta will get the pleasure of taking on those Knights from Fort Wayne Bishop Luers. You take a look at the scenarios. If, let's say, Luers wins against Garrett.
Pretty safe bet.
Here tonight. If Delta wins this game, the Eagles would host Bishop Luers. If Yorktown wins this game, they will travel up to Fort Wayne to take on Bishop Luers. And, of course, we'll get you that finalized scenario at the end of tonight's sectional championship. Here at halftime, it's Yorktown leading Delta 21-12. We'll take one more timeout. Your second half coming up next here from Tigers Stadium here on DelawareCountyVoice.com.
Do you own a business or know of a business in Delaware County that would be interested in sponsoring high school sports on DCV? Delaware County Voice is looking for businesses to sponsor Yorktown and Delta Athletics this season. Sponsorship deals start as low as $30 a week. If you know of a business that's interested, contact us on Facebook or Twitter or find us at the game. Start your business's partnership with DCV today.
They are role models and educators. Their work requires a great deal of time and energy for very little pay. Who are these unsung heroes?
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
The simple truth about education-based athletics in Indiana is this. Without a committed team of coaches and administrators, it just wouldn't be possible. School sports, they bring out the best in all of us. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Let's talk about the X's and O's of family entertainment. Every parent in Indiana knows the importance of being able to draw up an activity that'll get you out of the house for a couple of hours. But it needs to be affordable. It needs to be family-friendly. Above all, it needs to be fun. Now, let's talk about high school sports. Bang for your buck, school sports provide the perfect game plan for your family. You'll enjoy all of the drama and excitement competitive sports offer. You'll be supporting the future leaders of our community in a meaningful way. Best of all, you can take the entire family without breaking the bank. Heck, you won't even dent it. Now, enough chalk talk. Let's get out there and see what's playing at the high school in your community. School sports. Good for our kids, good for our community. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
In Fort Wayne, two sisters make a historic splash when they swim their way to a pair of individual state titles.
In Evansville, a boys and girls soccer team become state champions in the same year for the same school, claiming their place in Indiana history.
In Bloomington, 12 young men combine their talents, check their egos, and net a basketball state title.
High school sports have provided us with as many inspirational stories as there are towns in Indiana.
In Valparaiso, a gymnastics team scores a perfect season, winning a record 7th state championship for their school in the process.
A football team south of Indianapolis refuses to lose, comes from behind, and runs away with an improbable state title.
What will the story be in your community? High school sports. Pure spirit, pure sport, pure Indiana. This message made possible by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the high schools in this community.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Indiana are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. There's still a place. There's still a place where performance is enhanced by extra effort, not by performance-enhancing drugs. There's still a place where contracts are between coaches and players, and the terms are non-negotiable. There's still a place where an edge is something you gain by working harder than your opponent. There's still a place where sport is pure. That place is the high school in your community. At the Indiana High School Athletic Association, we believe that while competition can be fierce, it doesn't change the fact that it's only a game. The goal may be to win, but the point is to have fun. And if you want to be reminded of just how great sports can be when they're played the right way, then the place to be is at a high school sporting event in your community. High school sports, pure spirit, pure sport, pure Indiana. This message made possible by the IHSAA and the high schools in this community. High school sports. Pure spirit, pure sport.
Pure determination. Nothing is going to stand in the way of my becoming the best student athlete I can be.
Pure spirit, pure sport.
Pure leadership. I don't just play an important role on my team. I play an important role in my community.
Pure spirit, pure sport.
Pure sportsmanship. I recognize the attitude counts, and that being a good sport is the only way to play.
There are plenty of ways student athletes in Indiana demonstrate the values of high school sports. At the Indiana High School Athletic Association, we salute each and every one of them. The IHSAA, pure spirit, pure sport.
Pure effort.
Pure dedication, pure Indiana.
This message made possible by the IHSAA and the high schools in this community.
Welcome back to Tiger Stadium. Robert Connett and Tony Sandleben with you here. Wes Lorenz running our camera on top of the press box as we get ready for the third quarter. Yorktown leading Delta here in the Sectional 28 Championship, 21-12, as the Tigers will kick off to the Eagles to start the second half. Taking it to the 20, and a big tackle from a couple of Yorktown Tigers, as it was Trey Bland with the kickoff reception, getting blasted at the 20 by a couple of Tigers, and Delta will come out onto the field to start the third quarter. And Tony, like we mentioned in the halftime report, it's been basically all running from Mason Bechtel, of all people, for the Delta Eagles in that first half.
Yeah, Spiegel has gotten his carries, but it's only amounted to 40 yards. So definitely been Bechtel who's been the bell cow, as he's had a 91 yards in the first half, already more than what he averages per game at only 32.5.
First play of the third quarter, they'll pitch it out to Spiegel left side, and he'll be taken down by Jake Preston around the 22-yard line. Again, Spiegel coming in averaging 171 rushing yards per game. He is 6th in the state with 30 rushing touchdowns on the season. But again, he was held to just 83 rushing yards last year against these Yorktown, or I should say in the regular season this year against the Yorktown Tigers.
And he's on pace to pretty much finish with that exact same number. Only 40 yards in the first half, no touchdowns. Again, it's been all Bechtel on the ground for the Delta Eagles.
So a 2nd and 9 after a gain of 1 by Spiegel. This time they'll hand it up the middle to about the 25-yard line. And I believe it was Bechtel with the carry. As we'll get everyone out of the bottom of that pile. And it was actually 24, Zach Mills, on the carry.
And Zach Mills with the only positive gain through the air for the Delta Eagles in that first half, that 30-yard touchdown pass. Again, that just speaks to Delta's game plan. Cade Jones was 2 of 3 in the first half. One pass was completed for 30 yards and a touchdown. The other one was completed for a loss of 1.
You're looking at a 3rd and 6 for the Delta Eagles at the 25-yard line. Jones under center in the I formation. They fake handoff, throw out to the right side. It is caught on the far sideline, and a gain of about 2 or 3. And the reception on the far sideline was Trey Bland. Not enough for the first down, and so Delta will have to punt as they will go 3 and out on this first drive of the second half.
And not really the start you wanted to see for Delta in the half, with all the momentum on your side, making that huge stop. Oh, my goodness.
And the punt was muffled, going off the side of the shoe of Darren Stoltz. Yorktown recovers at the 25-yard line. My goodness.
Wow.
Bechtel just did not get a kick on the football. It just went off the side of his shoe and rolled about 5 yards.
Well, I just was saying, not the start you want to see for Delta. Definitely not the start you want to see for Delta. As to finish my point, huge stop at the end of the half. You want to get your offense out to start the second half, get a score on the board. They don't get that. They go 3 and out, and then shank the punt for only 5 yards and give Yorktown a huge, huge momentum shift with great starting field position, but good stand there defensively from Delta for sure. As again, Riley Neal only had 2 rushing yards in the first half.
Neal kept it on that first play and went backwards. And so now you're looking at Riley Neal with 0 rushing yards here tonight.
On 6 carries.
2nd and 12 after that loss. Neal has thrown for 2 touchdowns here tonight. From the shotgun, fakes the handoff to Stevenson, looking to throw right side. It is, Dungan dropped it
at the 13-yard line.
And Jake Preston's reaction says it all. He looks at Clay Duncan, sees him open, sees him drop the ball, and just throws his hands on his helmet like, come on. Then walks over to him and says, it's all right, we'll get him on the next one. But, again, drop passes have kind of been an issue for Yorktown in this game. It's not quite been what we're used to from this Yorktown offense. Still been productive, as we talk about Riley Neal with almost 230 yards passing in the first half, but it just hasn't been quite as rhythmic as what we're used to.
3rd and 12. Neal in the shotgun. Takes the snap, looking left, going to throw left to the far sideline. Miller trying to dive for it and was unable to come up with it. It'll be 4th down.
And again, you're in that gray area for the Tigers. They might decide to go for it. It's a pretty long field goal and a pretty short distance to punt. Not much harm in going for it here.
So Delta went 3 and out to start this third quarter. The punt went 5 yards. Yorktown with great field position, and they're unable to do anything with it. Fourth and 12 for Riley Neal and company. They're going to go for it from the 27-yard line. Quick throw out to Miller. He has it across the 25 and got it to about the 23. And it'll be a turnover on downs for Yorktown.
That is the third drive to end with a turnover on downs for the Tigers. So Delta's going to take over at the 23. And another stand by the Delta defense. Now the offense really has to return the favor, get some points on the board. You're still down by 2, even though it really doesn't feel like it, considering how this game has gone. But again, pressure is on for Delta's offense. They need to get points on the board and get back to a one-score game.
So they will take over at the 23-yard line. Jones under center. Throw out to the right side, and it is complete at the 30. The completion for Mitchell Hahn, number 6. His first reception of the night, and it's a pickup of about 7 on the play.
And a good thing for Yorktown's defense, something they can kind of hang their hat on and be proud of. Tate Stone went that entire first half, I believe, without even being targeted, much less making a catch.
Again, Jones was just 2 of 3 on passing. And one of those 2 receptions was a touchdown as they hand it off to Mills up the middle. He has the first down and plenty more. Lost the ball at midfield, and Yorktown recovers.
No signal yet.
Did the referee say he was down first? As Mills took it to about the 44-yard line.
They are going to say he was down.
He was down first.
Ugh. Lucky break there for Delta.
So it's a pickup of 13 on the ground for Zach Mills. Moves the chains for the Eagles, and they'll spot the ball at the 44.
And it's another big run for Delta. This run defense for Yorktown is really wearing them down.
In the I formation, the handoff up the middle once more. This time it's Bechtold across midfield to the 45-40, 35-30, pushed out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Big gain for Mason Bechtold, but a flag was thrown right around the 46-yard line.
And
this might come back.
Yeah, that will come back. It looked like an illegal block in the secondary. One of the receivers, I believe, held a Yorktown defender.
Another big gain on the ground by Mason Bechtold. He has had a few of those here tonight, but this one's going to be erased with the Delta penalty.
And it's essentially going to be a do-over since the penalty was beyond the line of scrimmage, but it is holding against Delta. That'll basically put the ball right back where it was to start that play.
So we'll just redo it. 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line as Bechtold will sub out. Coming back in will be Zach Mills for the Eagles at running back. And the I formation at the 44-yard line. First down for the Eagles. Jones to throw. Right side going to the far sideline. Up and incomplete, but a flag is thrown.
Oh, man.
As the intended receiver was Mitchell Hahn.
Are they really going to call defensive pass interference on that?
Morrow and Moore were both on coverage of Mitchell Hahn. All three of them went up for the ball, and a flag was thrown from the far sideline referee, and they will call pass interference on Yorktown.
What a call. That's pretty close. There was contact, but all three of those players, as you mentioned, Rob, were going for the ball.
Yeah, I don't think either Morrow or Moore were trying to mess up Mitchell Hahn. All of them were going for the ball.
I don't agree with that call.
So I'll take the Eagles to the 41-yard line across midfield. I formation once again. Jones will hand it off to Spiegel across the 40 and wrapped up by about 5 Tigers right around the 36-yard line.
Yorktown's not hiding anything. They are playing the run right there. You just saw every single defender almost for the Yorktown Tigers right up at the line of scrimmage coming in on a run blitz. And give credit to Delta's offensive line. They still were able to pick up a decent gain.
Pickup of about 4. It'll be 2nd and 6 for the Eagles at the 37-yard line. I formation. Jones under center. Throw to the left side, and it was batted at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete.
Looking for a slant that time for Tate Stone, who actually was able to beat Jacob Stevenson off the line of scrimmage and into the inside. He was open, but you said it. Good fortune there for Yorktown tipping the ball away.
I'll bring up 3rd down for the Eagles. 3rd and about 6. As Mason Bechtel will run out from the sidelines and onto the field for the Eagles. So you got Mills, Spiegel,
better hurry,
and Bechtel. All three of them. Play clock at 4. The handoff to Bechtel on 3rd and 6, and the Tigers stopped him at the line of scrimmage.
Good stuff there by the Yorktown Tigers. Penetration all along the line of scrimmage, and Bechtel went nowhere. But, again, Delta not going to hesitate. Might as well go for it, considering where you are on the field. But they are... is there an injury timeout? Referee stopped the clock.
He's signaling to number 73, which is Hunter Holbrook, headed to the sidelines for Delta. They'll bring in Mitchell Hahn. Mason Bechtel will head to the sidelines for Delta. They're going to go for it on 4th and 4. Yorktown fans below us making some noise. The Eagles go for it. Jones to throw across the middle, and it is batted at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete, and another turnover on downs.
Great effort there by the Yorktown defensive line. 2 straight passes batted away at the line of scrimmage. That time a good stop on 4th down, and another huge momentum swing. This really has been a defensive ball game as both offenses have struggled to get any kind of rhythm going. These defenses playing very, very well, making plays all over the field.
And that's exactly how it was in the regular season matchup, Tony. Yorktown was held scoreless. Delta picked up their only 6 points of the entire game in the second half. So Yorktown will take over. Riley Neal with the run, and he is breaking free. 40, 30, and finally taken out of bounds. Right around the 23-yard line, Riley Neal saying, hey, I might have 0 rushing yards coming up to this point. A big one there going downfield.
And you knew it had to come sooner or later. Yorktown really relies on running productivity from their quarterback, and Riley Neal finally finds a hole, busts through it, and shows he's not to be messed with when it comes to running on the ground.
It's a 41-yard gain for Riley Neal. First down at the 26-yard line. Neal in the shotgun as he has two receivers left to the right. Neal will take it himself again up the middle as he dives forward across the 20 to about the 19. It's like he could hear us up here, Tony. Delta's defense was doing a great job up until this point, stopping Riley Neal on the running game. And the first two plays of this drive, and he bolts forward for 41, and then that one right there was about a 6-yard gain. 2nd and 4 for the Tigers. Inside the red zone. Play clock at 4. Neal in the shotgun, takes the snap, will keep it himself. Left side, across the 15 to about the 13-yard line.
And Neal picks up another first down. You said it, Rob. It is as if he just heard us. Complete change in the look from this rushing attack for the Yorktown Tigers. It was almost non-existent in the first half. Now it's been all the production on this drive for the Yorktown Tigers, and they are inside the red zone.
Fresh set of downs for the Tigers, as it's been Riley Neal on the ground all 3 plays of this drive so far. Neal in the shotgun, takes the snap, going to keep it himself again, this time right side, and he is tripped up at about the 12-yard line. The tackle by Riley Peace, the junior. Now bring up 2nd down for Yorktown at about the 11.
Put the ball at the 11-yard line, gain of 3, 2nd down and 7.
And so now I wonder, I would say Yorktown might try to give the ball to Stevenson here, get some pressure off of your quarterback. It's good to see Riley Neal finally getting back into a rhythm, running the ball, but give the ball to your running back, let him make some plays on the ground and keep your quarterback from getting hurt.
2nd down, Neal will keep it himself, up the middle, across the 10 to about the 8-yard line. So it's been Riley Neal with the run every single play so far on this drive, and it's working. As here comes Myron Howard. He will replace Jacob Stevenson in the backfield on this play.
The 7-yard line is your line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 3 for Yorktown.
3rd and 3. The first down marker just inside the 5-yard line. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Neal in the shotgun. Takes a low snap, rolls out to the left side. Going to dive for the goal line, and he's going to come up a couple yards short. He did get enough for the first down, though, so you're looking at a 1st and goal.
I wonder if Coach Wilhelm is going to have a few words to his center, because we've seen a number of low snaps in this game from center Matt Phillips.
Keep in mind, it's a backup center.
I was just going to say that, replacing the injured Alec Myers. He's filled in nicely thus far, but a number of low snaps has kind of disrupted the rhythm of a couple of plays for this Yorktown offense.
1st and goal at the 3. 2.5 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. Play clock at 2. At 1, Neal takes the snap, going to dive for the goal line. Push forward, he is in. Riley Neal with his 23rd rushing touchdown of the year.
And that time, the Yorktown offensive line flexed their muscles. Riley Neal continued to churn those legs, just powering his way into the end zone. Power running from the quarterback, not something you're used to if you're a typical football fan, but really, the way this offense has looked for Yorktown, it's become the norm. Riley Neal powering his way up the middle.
PAT by Dungan is up and good. It's a 65-yard drive. Every play, a Riley Neal run. He punches it in for the 3-yard touchdown, and Yorktown now leads 28-12 with 2:21 left to play here in the third quarter. More action from the Sectional 28 Championship coming up next here on DCV.
Greek's Pizzeria in the Village, serving Muncie and Ball State for 35 years. Stop in and taste the difference of dough made fresh daily and the finest ingredients. Located in the Ball State Village at 1600 West University. Our menu is online at greekspizzeria.com or call us at 765-284-4900. That's 284-4900. It's our taste. Greek's Pizzeria in the Village.
D1 Mold and Tool, proud sponsor of Yorktown football this postseason on DCV. They have all your die-cast dies, plastic injection molds, and related tooling needs for the die-casting industry. Visit them in Daleville on Commerce Road or call Tony Dungan at 378-0963. D1 Mold and Tool, proud sponsor here on DCV as the kickoff going to be returned to the 30-yard line, and Delta will take over as they now trail 28-12 after a 65-yard drive for the Yorktown Tigers. Riley Neal with the 3-yard touchdown run, his 23rd rushing touchdown of the season.
What a difference one drive can make. Riley Neal, remember, 2 rushing yards in the first half, had all, 65 of that drive? Absolutely fantastic.
2:15 to play here in the third quarter. I formation for the Eagles. Jones looks to throw. Going to launch it downfield, and it's over the head of everyone. The intended receiver, Zach Mills, as he did have that touchdown reception for the Eagles in that first half.
And Jake Preston that time was on the coverage. That 30-yard touchdown pass that Mills had, he was all alone. He was completely wide open. It looked like there was a miscommunication in the secondary by Yorktown. Not so much on that one, as Jake Preston had tight coverage that time on Zach Mills.
So it'll be second and down after the incompletion from Cade Jones, as they'll send Tate Stone to the wide right. And on the near side is Trey Bland, rather. He moves from left to right now. Jones under center will hand it off up the middle. Across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. The run by Joe Spiegel. Pickup of about 6 on the play, but it will bring up third down.
And 3rd and 4 is going to be the situation that Delta's going to have to face. Pretty manageable distance there. You know, we've talked about a couple of times we want to see Yorktown push Delta into those 3rd and long situations, but that really has not happened throughout most of this game. It's been 3rd and relatively this distance throughout all drives for Delta.
Hart in motion, left to right, I formation. Jones looks to throw. Going to go to the right side, downfield, up for Tate Stone, and dropped it at the last second. Good coverage by Carson Morris. He will celebrate, as that was a good throw by Jones. Stone went up for it, and as he came down, not able to hold on.
That was a good throw by Jones, even better effort by Stone, but the best effort came from Carson Moore as he somehow matched the height that Stone went up to and was able to just rip the ball out of the hands of Tate Stone.
So now you're looking at 4th and 4 for the Eagles as they went 3 and out on their last drive here in the third quarter. And a timeout going to be taken by Coach Zagunda. So it'll be 4th and 4 with 1:20 remaining here in the third quarter. Delta trailing Yorktown 28-12. We'll take the timeout with them. Be back in a moment with more action from Tiger Stadium after this on DCV.
D1 Mold and Tool is a specialized supplier that designs and builds die-cast dies, plastic injection molds, and related tooling. With over 20 years of experience and using the latest technology advanced machinery, D1 Mold and Tools is your full-service molding shop. From dye rebuilds to complete design and build projects, D1 is blending yesterday's experience with today's technology. Visit them in Daleville or check them out on the web at d1moldandtool.com. D1 Mold and Tool, proudly sponsoring Yorktown High School athletics.
Welcome back to Tiger Stadium. Robert Connett, Tony Sandleben, Wes Lorenz back with you here on DelawareCountyVoice.com. 4th and 4 for Delta coming out of their own timeout. Ball at the 36-yard line. Jones will hand it to Bechtold, and referees blew their whistle. And Coach Zagunda throws his clipboard to the ground.
Trey Bland wasn't set. And they're going to call a second timeout in a row for Delta.
And Coach Zagunda, he is walking out onto the field after he pounded his clipboard to the ground. So they called another timeout.
And Trey Bland wasn't set. And just to prevent the penalty, Zagunda was forced to call another timeout.
So he's got one left here in the second half.
2 burned timeouts on one play. And something else to point out, coming out of that last timeout, just before Delta broke the huddle, Zach Mills was running off the field, helmet off, with the training staff. I'm not sure if he was injured or if he was in the huddle trying to discuss the offensive strategy. We'll see if he comes back in. He's still on the sidelines without a helmet on, but he is close to the field of play, so it could just be that he was in the team huddle talking offense.
So we'll have to keep an eye on that with Zach Mills. So Coach Zagunda will break out of the huddle, walk back over to the sidelines. Now he picks it up to a jog. And so Delta will try it again. 4th and 4. I formation, Jones under center, takes the snap, looking to throw to his right side, and it is caught at the 40. No, referee signal Tate Stone down. He slipped up at the last second and still tried to make the catch from his knees, unable to hold on, and it's another turnover on downs here in the third quarter.
Second drive in a row for Delta, though they turn the ball over on downs. Another good stand by the Yorktown defense. Give credit to Tate Stone. That would have been a very impressive effort if he made that catch. Unfortunately, somehow, we talked about it earlier in the broadcast, this field is very slippery. I'm not sure if it's just still lingering effects from what happened last week weather-wise, or...
I mean, we did have a pretty good rain a couple days ago, but again, Tony, we were out there on the field. It didn't seem slick at all.
And nobody was really slipping in pregame warm-ups either, so...
It's just been odd to see a lot of players slip up here tonight. So Neal will take the snap, roll out to the left side, and he is pummeled for a loss of 1. The tackle for Darren Stoltz on the sack. Now they get 2nd and 11.
Man, that time Delta was ready for the Riley Neal run. Filled up the gap that Riley Neal ran straight towards and brought him down for a loss. That has been what we've been used to as far as this game is concerned from Riley Neal.
8 straight runs now for the quarterback, Riley Neal. Loss of 1, though, so it's 2nd and 11.
You wonder how sore he gets the next day after games.
He takes a lot of shots in every game. Neal takes the snap. Going to lob it up. It's Preston across the middle at the 25 and takes it inside the 15.
Jake Preston now getting involved in the passing attack for Yorktown. His first reception of the day. A big gain that time as Riley Neal looked like he kind of faked that he was going to run to a hole and then lobbed it over to Jake Preston, and I think, is that him still on the ground?
Yeah, Preston is still laying on his back. Referees are going to signal the Yorktown Tigers to walk away as Preston, with the reception, got tackled inside the 15-yard line and then just kind of slowly, as he tried to get back up, slowly just laid back onto his back. As the training staff is now out there to Jake Preston. His first reception of the night, he came in with 22 catches for 245 yards on the season.
And I'm not too sure what kind of hit he took, Tony. I don't know if it would be his knee or his leg.
Well, they're working on his lower body. It could just be that it bent awkwardly on a tackle. A lot of times you'll see when guys get tripped up like we saw Jake Preston do at the end of that play, sometimes their leg will bend awkwardly some way, twist an ankle, twist a knee, something like that. But Jake Preston, a noticeable limp. It looks like he might just be cramping up.
Yeah, you see at the top of your video screen as he'll walk on his own power back to the sidelines, but definitely a limp with that right leg. And that's not good if you're thinking forward. I know, obviously, the football season is not over for Yorktown. Hopefully it's nothing serious because Jake Preston is also a basketball player for Yorktown High School. So he will go over to the sidelines and be treated after the reception. It's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Neal will take the snap, keep it himself up the middle, jukes a couple of defenders, still on his feet, dives for the goal line, and he is in! Touchdown, Riley Neal.
And how about that? As soon as Riley Neal's rushing game gets going, so does the rhythm of this Yorktown offense. That's 2 touchdown drives in a row, 2 touchdown runs in a row for the senior quarterback Riley Neal, and Yorktown is rolling, now up 34-12, waiting on the PAT.
Dungan with the extra point. It is up and good, and the Tigers increase their lead with 9 seconds left in the third quarter, 35-12. Riley Neal with his second rushing touchdown of the quarter. Tigers lead here in the Sectional 28 championship on DCV.
Rosenthal Orthodontics, located at 3901 North Wheeling, houses the area's only board-certified orthodontist, Dr. Mark Rosenthal. At Rosenthal Orthodontics, we can use cutting-edge technology with knowledge and craftsmanship to give adults and children the healthiest, best-looking smile. Call the office today at 289-2377 to make the first step toward a beautiful smile. Rosenthal Orthodontics, the choice of champions.
Riley Neal with a 14-yard rushing touchdown, his second rushing touchdown of the quarter. And Yorktown now leads 35-12 here in the Sectional 28 championship. 9.3 seconds left in the third quarter as Brevin Smith will kick it from the 40. A short one will bounce, roll across the 30, be picked up at the 25-yard line on the far sideline, and the Eagles will take it to about the 33-yard line, and that's where they will take over for their next offensive drive.
And Riley Neal now, we talked about how his passing game was doing really well in the first half, but the running game was not. Just to give you an idea of how well he's been playing throughout the entire game, that's his 4th touchdown that he's accounted for. 2 on the ground, 2 in the air. He's really, we talked about in the pregame, dual threat quarterback. It's exactly what he's showing now, especially here in the second half.
And Delta really has to get something rolling as they have been able to do nothing on their last 2 drives of this quarter. They'll hand it up the middle across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. Joe Spiegel with the carry, pickup of about 3.
And that should end the third quarter.
At the end of 3, Yorktown leading Delta 35-12. The final 12 minutes of this sectional championship coming up next here on DelawareCountyVoice.com.
Interact with Delaware County Voice through social media. Like us on Facebook, simply search Delaware County Voice. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Delaware Co Voice. We'll let you know of any breaking news from the schools in the county, when our next broadcasts are, and post updates during the games. DelawareCountyVoice.com on Facebook and Twitter.
Mobile King is your AT&T authorized dealer with locations in Bluffton, Decatur, Huntington, New Haven, and Fort Wayne. And right now, you can get a smartphone for $0 down with AT&T Next, a new way to get a new device every year with no down payment, no activation fee, no upgrade fee, no finance fee. AT&T Next. Visit your local Mobile King for complete details or visit online at mymobileking.com. Requires a 12-month 0% APR installment agreement and qualifying credit. Wireless service plan required.
Welcome back to Tiger Stadium. Robert Connett, Tony Sandleben, and Wes Lorenz with you here on DCV as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. Delta with the ball, trailing Yorktown 35-12. As Mills back onto the field will take the handoff to the left side, cuts the corner. He is free across the midfield to the 45 and taken out of bounds at the 43-yard line.
Yeah, I think Mills is okay.
Yep, I think he's all right. I don't think it was an injury that we were talking about earlier. He's perfectly fine.
Huge run there by Zach Mills, able to get around the edge and just took off, showing some blazing speed on that one, running down the sidelines, picking up a big first down. Delta's going to need a lot more of that here late in this game.
Fresh set of downs at the 44-yard line. Mills in motion again. They'll hand it off, this time to the right side. Across the 40 and spun around and brought down by a couple of Tigers. Leading the tackle there for Yorktown was Tristan New, the sophomore. A gain of about 5 on the play. They'll mark it at the 39-yard line.
Gains inside the 40, number 39, second down and 5.
Second and 5 for the Eagles. After the run by Mills, Spiegel in the backfield along with Mills and Bechtold. They will give it to